This is Gino Ray. I'm sitting here with Chaveo. Che, can you tell everybody your name is Che and welcome to Native as I Can Be? Thank you. Let's start the show.
Who's the podcast host that you love the most? Coming to you live from coast to coast. Call me Thunderlip, Spaceman, or G. It's just me being native as I can be.
Hi, I'm way up here in the corner. It's your host, Gino Ray. The show is Native as I Can Be. And I'm so excited about today's episode because we have all the way from Seattle, Washington. He's a luchador. If you don't know, a luchador is a Mexican professional wrestler, and he's going to be stepping into a different type of arena today. His face is a mystery, but his presence is not. Everybody, welcome my very special guest, Celestial.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I hope everybody's doing good. And thank you so much for having me in your show.
Is this your first one?
In your show?
First podcast?
Yes. No, this is... I don't know what number this is, but it always makes me nervous.
Yeah, it is. It's a little weird to sit and talk about yourself for any amount of time, but I'm so psyched, man. I used to do this show years ago, and it was okay. And just recently, I don't know, I got the inspiration to restart it, and I started thinking, who could I have on it that would fit the tone, but would also make for a good conversation. You came up, so thought I would reach out, and you were like, "Hell yeah, let's do it." So,
I'm honored.
Yeah,
I'm
man.
honored. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, we'll just start with some basics. So you're in Seattle now, correct?
Yes.
Have you been there your whole life, or were you born somewhere else?
So I was born in Mexico. I came here when I was really young. Came here at the age of 6, I believe. First went to Texas for a few months, and then after that, I just came to Seattle. And ever since then, I just been here my whole life.
Yeah. Do your parents live there too, or are they still in Mexico?
My mom, she lives with me.
Okay.
So, and then my dad, well, he's down in Mexico City.
Okay.
But I also have a sister who also lives here with me. So I think that's the reason why we moved here, because she moved here first. So I guess they fought. My mom and my sister follow each other.
Mm-hmm. So she's your older sister.
She's my older sister. She's 12 years older than me.
Got it. How old are you?
I am 33 right now.
33. Okay.
So all of you can do the math.
Yeah. All right. So what is like your earliest? We're gonna get right into the wrestling stuff, and I want to say this up front. I know my show more often than not has more of a social awareness issue type vibe to it, and we may touch on some of that. But
Okay.
also, I've been a wrestling fan since I was 6. So to sit here and talk to a wrestler, like I'm gonna nerd out. So just warning you guys up front, like this might not be what you're expecting, but I still think it'll be fun.
It's gotta
So
be
yeah,
full of surprises.
yeah, for sure. So what's like your first memory of seeing wrestling?
That can actually go way back. So it is I would like to say when I was very young, like probably like 8, maybe, if that's what I recall. Because they say, when I say they, my mom, she says that I have always been a wrestling fan ever since I was a baby.
Mhm.
Down in Mexico when because my dad used to be a singer, and they got invited to a show. I was like really young, like a year old or two, something like that. And they got invited to a show where AAA was starting out, and you had like Atlantis, Octagon, all like the old school wrestlers. So apparently they were holding me when I was a kid.
Oh wow.
So I guess when I was two, but more that I can remember now is like when I was like around like 7, 8 years old, when I was watching AAA. I was sleeping over at my sister's house where she used to live in Kent back in the day, and I was like watching wrestling like around like 3 in the morning, and I was watching AAA, and I was like watching Abismo Negro, um, watching uh, who could have been so Abismo Negro, and then more rest. I can't remember like because
Hmm.
I was just like super like young, and I was like, oh man, I like this. I want to be a wrestler. I
Yeah.
was like, oh, I want to do this. Um,
Yeah.
and so you can say like when I was around 7 or 8 years old, that I was like more like knowledgeable, quote unquote, in wrestling.
Yeah. So it might not have been. You might not have been able to like drill down on it then, but what do you think now the appeal was? Like, what was it you were seeing that was like, this is for me?
All the high flying, the flashy lights, the crowd.
Hmm.
I was like, man, they get all the attention, and
Yeah.
all seeing all their moves that they were doing, and I was like, oh, I want to do that.
Yeah.
That would be awesome to do, and I guess, well, not I guess, like ever since then, like growing up, I was like, I want to be a wrestler. That was like my whole mindset. I was like, I want to be a professional wrestler, and I'm gonna do whatever I can to be a professional wrestler, right?
Yeah.
So I guess the lights, the public, the music, the moves, it all
Hmm.
attracted to me, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I want that.
Yeah. I was around the same age. I remember probably I might have even been younger, but I'm 45, so this would have been in the 80s when I
You don't
started
even look
watching
like
it.
it.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, man. 1980, I was born. Yeah, I'll be 46 in January. So yeah, the 80s for me was when I started watching, and the match that really like sunk its teeth into me. I think it would have been like 1988. It was Sting and Ric Flair at the first Clash of the Champions, and they went to like a
Uh,
45-minute time limit draw. And I remember like in the 80s, it wasn't super well produced, and it was kind of dark and dingy, but I remember just watching it feeling like I was there, and I was just so hooked on it after that. And yeah, and it's been a thing ever since. And now my 6-year old's getting into it too, which I'm not at all sad about. Um,
Good.
yeah.
Neither am I.
So so once you decided, or you had this, maybe even dreamed that this was going to be something you did, how did you break in? How did you get your foot in the door? Because back in the day, like it was almost like a secret society. Like you almost had to kind of prove yourself worthy to be trained as a wrestler. And I don't think it's like that now, but how did you get your foot in the door?
Also, funny story. So, um, in 2011, I graduated high school. Um, I was in the wrestling team from like 2007 all the way to 2011. Uh, and I was working at a time at Benihana's, and my mom, my mom and my sister basically heard a commercial about lucha libre here in Washington for the first time, and it was actually in Renton, which is not that far from here. It's like
Mhm.
15, 10 minutes away, depending how you're driving. Anyways, so
Yeah.
so um my mom calls me, right? And she was like, "Hey, when you get home, I need you to get your knee pads and your wrestling shoes with you." Me thinking that she was gonna take me to a regular, like a folk style, like Roman or Olympic style wrestling, like training, because I wanted to keep on training. At the time, I was in college. I was at Highland Community College, and I was wrestling for their team. But she was like, "Let's I want to take you to this place." So she never said nothing about professional wrestling, right? So she just, um, we get in the car, and then we just start driving to the gym, to the wrestling gym. I get, I get off, and so does my mom, and then there comes a guy coming up to us, and then he was a professor, and we talked. Well, they talked because I was at the time I was 19 still, so I was like really young and like more like not really super like focused on like what was going on. But I remember like he opened up the door and there was three ropes and a ring, and I'm like, "Eh, did she really? She really took me to a wrestling gym?"
Yeah.
And it was a Monday. I remember that it was a Monday at 7 p.m. and we go in. We he takes us down to the gym. We go in, and then and then I like it. I go like, "Oh my god, this is so awesome!" And I started
Yeah.
freaking out. Um, and then obviously I had to sign some waivers and stuff because you know. And then I started training, and then the coach he was like, "Hey, have you wrestled before?" I'm like, "Well, I just did Rico Roman folk style and blah blah." He was like, "Oh, because you seem to be pretty like doing this pretty like all doing all the things right."
You're
Like,
natural.
yes. And then so that's how it started. 4 months after that, I made my debut as in my first wrestling match, but I wasn't as Celestial or Viento. I was as Chicano Junior, and yeah, that's how I broke in.
4 months.
4 months
Four
into it.
months you were ready for your first match.
So my debut was February 19th, 2011, and I started training in um, October 19th, 2011. So
Wow. I
it
want
was
to I want to sidebar here and then mention that I did do some professional wrestling training about it would have been like 9 years ago, 8 years ago, before Che was born, and I mean I wasn't really prepared for how much it was going to hurt. I assumed it hurt, and because I've been watching my whole life, I'm like, I don't think you can do this without it hurting. I think you can do your best to protect yourself and the person you're wrestling against, but I think it's okay. So the first thing they had me do was I held onto the two top ropes and kind of crouched, and then I took a what they call a bump straight
yeah.
back. I mean, I fell like 2 feet, and I was like, just totally just, and I was like, oh my, and then and then we went on like a 3 hour session the first time and learning to run ropes. I hated, but I was also having the time of my life. Like
Mhm.
I was in a ring for the very first time, and I was like in my 30s, but I loved it, and the only reason I stopped because I think because Che was about to be born, and then the training schedule didn't work anymore. But yeah, I loved it. I even though it hurt quite a bit, like I enjoyed it.
It's
But
fun.
I said that to say that being ready for a match in 4 months is pretty remarkable. Because after 4 months, wouldn't even have dared. I wasn't even close to ready. So that's cool, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
Um,
Hey,
so
at least you got to try it. At least you got to try it, and you tried it. You got to be in the ring where most people they just criticize professional wrestling and never step in a ring.
right.
So and you got. I mean, you love it, and you got to live it, and you got to enjoy and take those bumps.
Hmm. Yeah. Um, and I was doing well too, but yeah, it just I don't want to say it was too late in life, but it would have been better to start. Oh, hold on 1 second. Come here for a second. I want you to look at something. Look. Can you say hi?
Hi.
Hi.
How you doing?
Here, let me hold you up a little bit. Can you hear?
How you doing?
Oh God. So that's my homie Che right there. That's my homie Celestial.
What's up?
Can you say hi? Hi. He's gonna train you to wrestle someday.
Hi. I am. Be ready.
Okay. You got anything else to say? No? Okay. You okay?
I just was gaslighting down there.
You were gaslighting? Doing what?
I kept laughing.
You kept laughing? Oh, you look like you're sad now.
Oh, so cute.
Oh man. I had a feeling it might happen. Okay. So what okay, so when you were going through training, were they training you specifically in lucha libre style? And the follow-up would be, did you ever consider doing a more American style wrestling?
So when I first started training, it was all lucha libre, just lucha libre. Um, I had no idea of anything about American wrestling, like at all. I always thought like there was like the same thing,
Yeah,
but which in lucha everything's in the right hand, in America and everything is
right.
in the left hand, right? Wait, right, left. There you go.
Yeah.
So, but no, I basically trained lucha libre. So when I got like bookings to like other promotions, because I was young still, right? Like I was really young and I was new at this, but when I started working for other promotions, you can say that, um, it was really hard for me to like keep up with the match because I had no idea on the left side.
Right.
It's so hard to readjust. Um,
And
but
what he's saying there is that in American wrestling, if there was somebody working on a body part, like if they were trying to injure someone's knee, it would be the left knee or the left elbow or the left wrist, whatever. And in lucha libre, they typically work the right body part. So what he's saying is, am I right in saying that?
kinda, yes. I mean, like now, professional wrestling is going into a whole. It's transforming into a hybrid like style now, like where like, all the styles are mixed in now. So that's so cool about professional wrestling
Mm-hmm.
now. Like all the styles are coming in together into one.
Yeah.
So yes, you're right.
Okay. I had heard that, but I wasn't sure, but yeah, that's true. It looks a lot different than it did when I was a kid. It's way more athletic, and these guys are recognized. These guys, you guys, are recognized for being superior athletes and doing it all year round. There's no off season for wrestlers. Like you're wrestling
There's
when you
not.
can wrestle, and if you don't wrestle, you don't get paid, and if you don't get
Yeah,
paid, you don't eat.
that is so true.
um, so how do you think lucha libre is received in the states? I mean, it's more of a hybrid now. Do you think it's received as well as a more traditional style of wrestling, American wrestling?
It is actually so with all the states that I've been in, lucha libre is more like a expensive delicacy dish that you get in a high profile like restaurant. So
Mm-hmm.
because lucha libre is not really like that common in the states. Well, it wasn't as common back in the day as it is now. Because now
Yeah.
like you got guys from like AAA, CMLL coming to the states and stuff. But back in the day, it was so hard for like to watch or get into a lucha libre show because there wasn't as many obviously luchadores
Yes.
shows or lucha libre in the states. Like the only luchadors that like back in the day, and I'm talking to you like 2013, 2014, when I used to go down to Portland for the first time ever. It would be me and Sonico, and we were like the only luchadors that came from Seattle, and we worked with their crew, or we worked against each other.
Mm-hmm.
But they're every time they see a lucha, they're like, "Oh my God, there's a luchador!" A
Mm-hmm.
luchador. Back in the day, they used to get me mad because they just call me Rey Mysterio, like all the fans, and I'm like, "I'm
Right.
not Rey Mysterio," you know.
Right.
But I'm like nowadays, I'm just like, it's cool. I feel, call me Ray, it's fine.
Right.
I love
Right.
it, you
Yeah.
know. But now it is received pretty well. Like people, you see lucha libre, and people get crazy about it. They get hyped. They want to go to the
Mm-hmm.
shows. Because there's something about lucha libre that American wrestling doesn't have as much, and that's the essence of like a really good, like a really good like aroma, taste, or like season of like what you want to see.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm making sense.
Yeah. 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 It's got
So
a vibe to it for sure. And I think what works well with lucha libre, it's like uh, you could watch a really good kung fu movie or action movie from another country, and they don't have to be speaking the language, and you could still enjoy it. And I think that's kind of how lucha libre, at least that's how I see it, is the action is so much more. It's impactful, and it's also elegant, and it's faster paced, and you don't have to go into a uh, you don't have to watch a lucha libre match and necessarily know the storyline and know you're
mhm.
still going to get a good match. And the good luchadors are going to get you invested in who they are by the end of that match, even if you don't know anything about their character.
I completely agree with you on that.
Yeah. I mean, and I grew up in, like I said, in the 90s, and they were bringing luchadors in on Monday Nitro, and those were always my favorite part. The NWO stuff, yeah, that was all cool and all that. And that kept me coming in every week and watching. But when they would have these luchador, like 6-man, I guess they call them trio smashes now, like those
Uh-huh.
were like the best 10 minutes of the show. Like, it was unbelievable to watch. Just we didn't see anything like that before. It was
No,
just
like I mean, thanks to them, I feel like thanks to WCW for bringing like all the luchadors. I guess for me, the way I see it, like thanks to them, that's how lucha libre was kind of like discovered, like here in the states, because they got popular, and you had like a Rey Mysterio coming out of nowhere. You had a Conan, A. Park, Juventud Guerrera, Psychosis. You're just like, and you're like, oh man, these guys are wild. They're crazy. They do
Mhm.
they do crazy things.
Yeah.
So I guess as a luchador brings like a really good essence to the ring, to the show. You have to be as professional as you can. Like a luchador has to be like fancy, like really fancy. When you're in the ring,
Mhm.
like your gear has to be 100%. You know, like clean or new.
Mhm.
And like the way you walk in the ring, like it's the essence of that you're giving out. Like I am a professional luchador.
Right. Yeah, that's so cool, man. First time I think it would have been I saw you I think at two shows out in Rockwood, and I think my homie Benny got your number or something, but I don't remember how it all went down. But yeah, we've sort of always kind of been in contact, but this is actually the first time we've ever even really talked, which is kind of cool. And
And it's been years.
yeah, so I'm enjoying it. Yeah, but so what did you say you wrestled your first match as?
Chicano Junior.
Chicano Junior. And so you've been through several evolutions since then, right?
Yes.
Okay. Why don't you break some of those down for us, and the motivation behind?
So Chicano Junior was given to me from a wrestler who was also training me here at the school here in Washington, and he was a old school. Well, he's an old school wrestler, and he wrestled as Chicano, and he was like, well, to break it down a little, to go back a little bit, they told me I was gonna debut, and I had no idea what was gonna be what my appearance and my mask. I had no idea what was gonna happen, you know.
Mhm.
And so I bought triple A game for the PlayStation, and one night I was playing it, and I was creating your own character, and I was making the mask, and I built the mask in the game, and I was like, man, I really like this mask. So, back in those times, like your phone, it wasn't a smartphone. It was like more like a flip phone or like a sliding
Mhm.
phone. So I took a
Yeah.
picture of it, and then I went to the gym and I told my coach, I was like, hey, so I want to get a mask like this, blah blah blah. And then I tried drawing it out, which is kind of
Mhm.
funny. And then they made it for me. And then I was like, they were like, what are you gonna call yourself? I'm like, I don't know what to call myself, blah blah blah. And then the guy, one of the Chicano, he was like, why don't you just be my junior? Just be Chicano Junior. And I'm like, sure. Because I was like, okay,
Mhm.
fine, okay, I'll do it. And then it was a nice mask. It was white, and then it had like green, red, and blue. So representing Mexico and the States. And I took inspiration, like the tights. I took inspiration of the Power Rangers,
Mhm.
Dino Thunder, yeah, Dino
Yeah.
Thunder, because I like the triangles and stuff, and then the boots, and then like the shirt and stuff, and it was cool. But I was like, I don't really feel Chicano Junior like it's my thing, you
Yeah.
know. So we were sitting at the gym and we were thinking, and I was like, I want to change my name, and I just don't really feel like I want to be under someone else's name. I want to be under my name. I want to do a name for myself. And then back in the day, I used to jump so high, like really high.
Mhm.
Of course, I was 19 and really skinny, and when you're young, you can eat the whole world. And
Right.
and then they were like, "Well, why don't you call yourself Viento? Viento means wind."
Mhm.
And I was like, Viento. And I was like, sure. I mean, I like it. So they were like, design a mask. So I'm a big fan of samurais, right?
Mhm.
So I designed the first mask. I was like, it's gonna represent a samurai helmet, and it's gonna have the the wind
Mhm.
like littering on the sides and blue. And so it was actually 2013, the summer of 2013 that I or 2012 that I debuted the name of Viento.
Mhm.
And then I left the school, and that was a few years later. I left the school, and I was like, you know what? I want to change my name real quick. I want to add something to it. So I was like, how about Celestial? So Viento Celestial. It's like Viento Celestial. That's I like the name, and
Yeah.
that was actually the name that you met me with.
Right. I have that shirt. It has a big V and a C on it in big green letters.
I actually decided to share myself.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was playing with one of the apps, on I think it was Fonto, and I was playing like with the letters and stuff, and I was like, I like this, I like how it looks, and blah blah blah. And I
Mm-hmm.
was like, I'm gonna put it on a shirt.
Mm-hmm.
And so Viento Celestial, I wrestled with that for a few years until 2019, and then from 2019, I changed my name to uh, Samurai del Viento, so Samurai
Mm-hmm.
of the Wind.
Which is
Because
so freaking cool. I love
thank
that name.
you. And like I said, I'm a big fan of samurais, and I wrestled with that name until like last year, which is 2024. Um, and then in Alaska of last year, it was my last match under Samurai del Viento, and I changed my name to Celestial. So and then I've been wrestling for Celestial for 2020, most of 2025, and it actually caught up with like people.
Yeah.
I mean, I was happy with it, and like, because when I was at Metalmania and I was doing the shows and stuff, and people like they knew who I was, like they knew who Celestial was because of Samurai de Viento.
Yeah.
So it was so cool because they're like Celestial, Celestial, and I'm like, oh damn, okay, like people actually caught onto it,
Mm-hmm.
and well, and the fact that I changed the name is because I work with this company down in Phoenix called Lucha.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy who runs Lucha, he's a mastermind of business. He's like a mastermind of business, right? And we were talking one day down in Phoenix after one of the shows. He took me out for breakfast, and he was like, I feel like Samurai de Viento is not really you. He was like, I really liked when you were Viento Celestial because that had like a really nice like tone to it.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, why not just change to Celestial? Your evolution to from Samurai de Viento to Celestial. Like you're a warrior from space, like a cosmic
Yeah.
warrior.
Yeah.
And like they don't have to think you are like like an angel or like something like religious, but mostly like more like out of this world.
You're otherworldly. Yeah. You're representing from a realm the rest of us don't have access to. That's killer.
And I was like, sure, let's do it. And then, um, which is funny because like my mom, she acts like my manager in a way
Mm-hmm.
because she sells my merch. She pretty much sometimes like handle my business. Um, she's like really on top of me like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I called her from Phoenix, and I'm like, hey, so I'm gonna change my name. And then we all had like a little conversation, all three of us, like Vols, myself, and my mom, and then she was like, yeah, I like it. And then Vols was like, I need you to close down all of your fan pages. I need you to close them down because we're gonna start from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
As Celestial. And a few months later, Celestial was it went from like 0 followers and likes to 7.3 likes and 7.4 followers.
Yeah.
So it went up to like I'm like, oh damn, okay. So I
Mm-hmm.
guess Celestial was the right move to for myself.
Mm-hmm. So, what is it about? I mean, you said, it's kind of this otherworldly character or persona. So what is it? What is the connection you feel to that, and where do you end and that begins, or is there very little difference?
I feel like there's the little bit of a difference because with Samurai de Viento, I wasn't really able to work like as a heel as much because
Mm-hmm.
Samurai de Viento, he's a samurai, he's good, whereas Celestial, like you're a cosmic being from outer space, but people don't know whether you're good or bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I
I am from
see.
outer space. I'm here to conquer the world, you know. But
Right.
um, but most of the time when I get booked, the promoters they always want to book me as a good guy
Yeah.
because I guess the way they see it, and I'm not trying to sound like I'm like really like I'm all that, but but it seems like I draw a lot like of attention as a good
Mhm.
guy more
Sure.
than a bad guy, and people are like more like chanting my name, like even if I wrestle as a bad guy,
Hmm.
people will still even chant my name.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, okay, well, I tried being a bad guy, but
Yeah.
people were just behind me the whole time.
Yeah. Well, and it does seem throughout uh, wrestling history. And I apologize to anybody if we're getting too inside here, but it does seem like the characters that the audience connects with the most are the ones that are being a closer version to who they actually are. So to me, if you have now evolved into Celestial, and that is a truer representation of yourself, it makes sense that the audience is gravitating towards that, even if you're there to sort of get them to root against you.
Yes, because like you know, me versus my wrestler me, like we have nothing really much changes, like persona wise.
Mm-hmm.
Just I'm naturally the way I am, and whether I'm wrestling or in my regular life. So I get a tad more serious when I'm wrestling, especially like I want things to go right. So, um, but overall, like I kind of me personally, I kind of see myself as Deadpool, trying to break the fourth wall. So
Yeah.
that's always me.
Mm-hmm. Um, so the people that are listening that maybe aren't familiar with this whole world, um, lucha libre is huge in Mexico. I mean, it's damn near the national sport, and a mask is a big part of that uh, culture and legacy. So obviously you have the mask, and are there any other traditions that you carry with you, and um, are those still translating in 2025, and are there any new ones you would like to see?
Well, the mask is basically like your second skin. I got told by a wrestler one time, and this was like when I first started wrestling under a mask. He was he grabbed my mask and said, "This is as important as your skin, because this is your second skin. Treat it with respect and treat it with care and love because it is a part of you." And I was like, "Yes, sir." Young me, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, "Yes, I will. I will do that." And till now, I'm always aware, and like I always treat my masks with like care, love, and because it's a part of you, like it's a part of. Imagine like if it's like your arm, your leg,
Mm-hmm.
you want to take care of it. So like when I have like new wrestlers or new students or like people who are just starting out, I always try to tell them like your gear is your second skin. It always has to be like really, really like well taken care of. Because if you go into a match where your mask is like dirty, smelly, or like
Mm-hmm.
smelly like gear, or like your uniform is really stinky, like you're like literally disrespecting what is professional wrestling itself.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's work, and there's some people who don't really like um see it like that.
Yeah.
But like the traditions, for me, the traditions of lucha libre, like when you do a mask versus mask, or hair versus mask, or hair versus hair. Those are like the really big, like important, like parts of our lucha libre, because like when you lose a mask, it's like you're losing a part of yourself. When you
Mhm.
lose your hair, you're like, oh man, I'm gonna go bald.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, those were usually the big blow-offs, the mask versus mask or the mask versus hair. And in the States, that might happen and they just come back next week without a mask on, or they would, and it's a little different in Mexico. Like that could actually derail a career, losing a mask.
Yeah, they always say like if you lose a mask, it can derail your career, or it can help your career grow bigger.
Mm-hmm.
It depends how. I'm guessing it depends how the crowd takes it, and
Right.
especially you as a wrestler, how you handle yourself. Because like nowadays, like social media has a big impact in our basically in what we do.
Right. So, with you being so close to the character, is lucha, is it like is it an outlet? I mean, it's obvious, it's clearly more than just something, it's not a hobby. Obviously, it's a very big part of you as a person.
Yes.
Is putting the mask on, is getting ready for the match, is participating in the match, and probably less so social media because that's almost just kind of the business side of it. But is lucha libre and wrestling an outlet? Is it a creative expression? Is it a way to deal with angst or being an immigrant or having immigrant parents? Is it, what does it mean to you beyond just putting on good matches?
It could mean so many things if you look at it, right? Because when you're a luchador, you know, and I'm talking about luchador, I'm not talking about like a professional wrestler. You represent, the way I see it, you represent your country. Obviously, you represent the people that you come from, like Mexico, and with lucha libre as a luchador, and I don't think many people realize this, but you have the power to change a lot of things, right? Like I'm touching like low base, like what's happening right now with like Trump and the
Mm-hmm.
immigrants and stuff. You as a luchador, like your job is to like the thing that I think is like my job as a luchador is to like try to relax people as much as I can, but also
Mm-hmm.
let them know that like they're not alone. We have a
Right.
whole population of our people. Because like that, we're backing up. And
Mm-hmm.
like lucha libre has been around from like years. Years and years and years, and I just don't represent myself when I'm there. I'm representing, like I said, I'm representing a whole nation, like a whole country. I'm representing our people, like Mexican, the fact that I'm a Hispanic person under a mask trying to represent, all of us that, what's going on around like that hate against all Hispanic, right? All Hispanics.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
that is my, in a way, that is my kind of my emblem, trying to like show people like, hey, we're here. Like, don't be
Right.
afraid. Come to the shows. Forget about your troubles. Just enjoy the show. Enjoy the match. Be who Be free.
Yeah. You're there to entertain, but maybe now more than ever, you're there to alleviate some pain,
Yeah.
not just yours. I mean, yeah, there is some crazy, crazy stuff going on in the world, and I feel for Latin A people, anybody, like just being a person of color right now is like, it's risky business, dude. And so if somebody can take a night off and put their phone down and enjoy a wrestling show and walk away going, man, that was the shit. And did you see the guy in the green mask? That was La Gente, that was one of my
Yeah.
people. Like, I think that's so powerful, and to be able to really represent, the culture of lucha libre and the culture of Mexico as a whole, I think is so huge. And the people that get to see themselves represented like that is huge too. It's good
Yes.
stuff, man. It's powerful. Um, so what do you think? This is kind of a broad question, but what kind of misconceptions do you think there are about either American wrestling or lucha libre? I think the most obvious is it's fake. It's not fake, by the way.
It's not. It's not fake.
Nothing fake about it, but
I mean, this is a good one. They think the ring is actually a trampoline or it's soft,
mhm,
and it's not. It is
no.
it's 6x6, I believe, and board across the ring. Um, those bumps actually hurt a lot. They do,
Mhm,
especially if you land wrong.
right.
Um, that's another one. They think the ropes are not really. They don't hurt when you hit them, and they actually do. They do hurt when you. If you're not used to it, and if you run the ropes, yeah, it's gonna hurt you, and it's gonna leave marks at first. Like
Mhm,
you're gonna get bruises from running the
yeah.
ropes. Or what's another one? Oh, if you lose, you don't get paid. That's what.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what.
yeah.
That's
And
what
that's
one of
that's
the
an old
misconceptions.
one. Yeah.
Um, what was it? Um, they say every you guys rehearse everything the night before, and I'm like, I just got here.
Right.
How am I gonna rehearse with someone that I wasn't physically with
Yeah.
them? You know?
You might not even have known who you were going to wrestle until you
Yeah.
got to the show. Yeah.
It's like on Saturday I'm wrestling this guy from El Paso, and I'm just like, okay, cool. Like the only way I can see what he has is like by looking him up on YouTube and see his moves and just,
Hmm.
study him and see what
Yeah.
he has on Saturday. Be like, hey, okay, cool, let's do this.
Yeah.
The other
Um,
one is, do you guys really hate each other?
right. Yeah. And I'm sure there are people that hate each other in the wrestling business, but I mean, that's any job, you know.
Yeah.
Um, that's true. I don't think I'll get this up in time to advertise, but you will be in Salem this weekend for a match. What was it? What's the event called?
Uh, Chica? Chick. I'm gonna have to look it up and see.
I can at least put a clip of you promoting it up, and then it'll at least be up before the show actually happens. But
It's called Chicha Fest.
oh
Chicha
yeah,
Fest.
okay.
It is what I read of it is like it's the first Mexican brewer. How do you say that when they make a beer?
Oh,
Brew.
brewing?
Yes, a brewery.
Yeah.
Anyways, uh, it is the first Hispanic one, and I guess they want to make a really big event, and Lucha Libre
Mhm.
is one of the biggest things that they can bring. They're gonna bring a lot of talent from around the states. Some from Mexico, some are from the states.
Mhm.
Few local guys from here, myself included. Um, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be amazing. I'm actually excited. I'm really excited to to be there and to perform. And the
Yeah.
best part, like trying to, like with everything going on, trying to help people forget about the issues and just come and enjoy the show and and live it.
Yeah. Um, yeah, for the people that don't live around here, and I do get listeners from all over the place, Portland's wrestling scene is actually pretty dope. Like you could probably go to a match every night if you wanted to. And I've taken Che to the smallest, in like Elks Lodges type of places, and we've went to Raw and SmackDown. Like we went to a match not that long ago for Prestige Wrestling. We saw our first cage match, and like he's all about it. He loves it. But yeah, Portland wrestling goes back years, like way before I was born. Like this is Portland, this Northwest kind of area has been kind of a hot spot for wrestling. It's pretty rad. Because you get down here pretty often, right?
Yeah, yeah. Portland's like my second home.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I do, which is funny because I don't really wrestle much in Washington. I just mostly wrestle outside of Washington.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, like Oregon, Arizona, Alaska. So that is like it's so amazing to represent the Pacific Northwest when I go to the
Totally.
States.
Mm-hmm. Have you wrestled in Mexico?
No,
Is that like the dream? Is that
that is
like
the dream.
is that like the bucket list type thing?
It is the list. It is the list. It is the dream. Hopefully, one day
Mm-hmm.
that'll happen. We'll see what happens.
What do you think that's going to be like? Do you think you're going to get emotional when you step into that ring and look around and see all your people everywhere?
I feel like that will be a like a like a holy moly. I can't believe I am here and
Mm-hmm.
my match is this and I am really scared.
Yeah.
Um, excitement, emotional, all of the emotions of once coming at you. You just don't know how to process them. I
Mm-hmm.
I can already feel it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, years of being on the road and the training and the evolution of your character. I mean, that'll be huge. I hope you get to do it, man. That would be really sick, man. I would probably cry if I was watching that. I'm a big crybaby for stuff like that.
Oh, I am too.
I mean, yeah, man. So, is there a match or a moment, and maybe if you can even share it, like a link, is there something that if somebody had never seen you wrestle before, that you could point them to and go, that's me. That's what I'm all about. And this is what you can expect. Or is there like a highlight reel? Like, or well, let's go with a single moment that you had where you like everything is clicking, everything is perfect, and then we can get into like a link that we should go look for.
Oof, I had a few moments like that. Uh, Actually, it would be when I went down to Phoenix back in September of last year. I went down with Lucha Vols. And mind you, I am the only wrestler from the Pacific Northwest that wrestles there, right? So nobody else from Oregon or Washington go there. I'm like the only one. Um, so I got to, I got to Phoenix. I got to Phoenix. I got to the airport. I got myself to the hotel because with the promoter, he's always busy and stuff. So he takes care of you so much. Huge shout out to Luis. He's the owner of Lucha Vols. Um, so I call him like, hey, so I just got to Phoenix, blah blah blah. He's like, okay, so get a shuttle, go to the hotel. You know, let's go to your room. You're gonna be sharing a room with Septimo Dragon, who is one of my best friends. So I was like, oh dang. So I got to the hotel, and then Septimo calls me. He's like, hey, we just landed. So it was him, Aerostar, and Drago, aka Dios del Inframundo, who wrestle for, who they wrestle for Lucha Underground and AAA.
Mhm.
And I'm like, no way. They're like, can you get a shuttle for us? Blah blah blah. I'm like, you know what? I'll uh I'll get a shuttle and I'll go down there myself. So
Mhm.
I just dropped everything I was doing, and a good thing I made really good friends with the lady who was a shuttle driver. Because for some reason I'm really good at making friends like instantly.
Mhm.
And I'm like, hey, can you do me a big favor? She's like, what's up? I'm like, can you go to the airport with us real quick? Can you take me to the airport? I gotta pick up my friends. And she was like, "Yeah." I'm like, I don't know where exactly I am, and you live here, so can you like take me?" So we get to the hotel, and I call Septimo. I'm like, "Hey, puppy, I am here now. Where you at?" And I see Aerostar, I see Drago, and I see Septimo, and in the back of my mind, I'm like marking out. I'm like, "Oh my god, I am with Aerostar. I'm with Drago." I'm like,
Mhm.
"Holy crap!" Like I'm just like, I can't believe it, and I'm so excited. So Drago, he is the co-producer of of Lucha Voz, right? So him and Luis, they work together with making the matches and stuff. And so just like, holy crap, like I can't believe it. Like I'm with them, I'm so excited. So Voz was like, hey, so I'm not there physically, but can you use your card to check the rooms in and blah blah blah. Like I'll pay you back. I'm like, yeah, sure. So I use my card and stuff to for the rooms. And anyway, so we went to the Waffle House. And I'm
Oh
just like,
man.
I'm like a little kid. I'm like eating my Waffle House and stuff, and I just have like three other stars like next to me, like eating, which
Yeah.
is friends, and Walls was like, hey, so yeah, so like I am promoting you as my assistant right now. So make sure like whatever they spend to let me know how much to spend, blah blah blah, so I can pay them back. I'm like, yeah, I got you. He's like, you're in charge. Like there's a limit and blah blah. I'm like, yeah, I got you. So we went to the Waffle House. First time I go to the Waffle House, and I was just like, this is so cool. And I'm making friends with Septimo. I've been knowing him since like 2016, 2017, and but I don't start in Drago. I'm just like, man, I can't believe I'm like the legends, and I'm like a little kid,
Mhm.
and so we go back to the hotel. You know, Foles picks us up. We wrestle, and then we went back to the hotel, and we were kind of hungry. And I was like, "Hey, are you guys hungry?" They're like, "Yeah." So I was like, "Let's go to Burger King." So they closed the uh, the dining room area, and we were walking around on the
Mhm.
drive-through with our
Yeah.
car. And my excuse, because I was the only one who one day, I mean, I was the only one I was the only one who knew English, right? Like fluently.
Mhm.
So I go around and I knock on the window, and I'm like, "Hey, hi. So we're not really from here. Uh, you know, my friends are from Mexico. I am from Seattle. We don't really have a car, but we would like to order. Can you pretend that we're in a car so that you can serve us?" And she's like, "Hold on," and I'm like, "We're really hungry," you know. So I'm like, "Look, we can't even squat down." And we just squatted down, four of us, and and uh, and we just like, so they let us order, and it was one of those moments of like, holy crap, like, oh my god, I can't believe that this is happening.
Mhm.
Uh, so we go to the next show, uh, and it was Sunday, the show that happened, the show, because we were there for Saturday and Sunday, so Sunday came in, and one of the semi main event wrestlers didn't show up, and I was gonna wrestle one of a local wrestler who I freaking love, Miniacon, but you know they were Drago and Vos. They were looking at me like really funny, and like I'm like, why are they looking at me? And they're like, hey, so yeah, so we're gonna put you in the 7 man event. I'm like, with who? They were like, well, it's gonna be you and Septimo versus Deluxe, who wrestles for AAA,
Mhm.
and El Dragon, who is one of my really good friends, but like I look up to him because he is literally killing it in the wrestling business right now.
Mhm.
And I'm like, me? They're like,
Mhm.
yes, you. I'm like, why? What did I do? you know? And they're like, nothing. We just want to see. Is that fine with you? I'm like, that is really great. So
Mhm.
this is actually my first match with like an actual important lucha match with Lucha Vos from like 2019, and I wrestled, and I did my normal things that I do. And I'm a big guy. You see me. I'm a big guy,
Mhm.
and I move like really. I move quickly, right?
Yeah,
And
totally.
I fly, like I do my head touches and stuff. So once the match was done, once the match was done, I uh, I go to the back, and one of the promoters from Port Promotions came up to me, and he's like this guy. He's like he looks like really mean and stuff, and he goes and extends his arm to me, and he said, "Really good match." I'm like, thank you so much." And he was like, "How
Mhm.
much?" I'm like, "How much what?" He was like, "How much to bring you back? I want to bring you back to my promotion." I'm like, "Oh, and I gave him a prize. He was like, "You're worth it." And Drago and Edistar both came up to me, and they were like, "From someone who is from Washington, you are really, really good. We didn't know that Lucha Libre up in Washington was like this good." So, because
Mhm.
in part of me, like I'm representing the Pacific Northwest, and the
Sure.
fact that they like the way I wrestled, and like I'm talking about legends, like
Right.
the way I wrestled, it's crazy. Like
Yeah.
even Makeup Wolf was there and stuff, and he was like, good shit. I'm like, oh, thank you,
Mhm.
and that was one of those things that I'm just like, wow, that was perfect. You
Yeah.
know, that was completely worth it. So yeah.
Yeah. So you transcended being just you would earn the respect of the people that you genuinely admire in the business, and they
Yes.
were treating you as a peer, more than a peer. I can see why that would have such an impact on you. Like, yeah, that's really cool. Like, it's like I'm as you were telling it, and I was like, I was visualizing the whole thing. Like, that's really cool, man. Like, I don't know how you get a bigger compliment than that. Aside from a little bit more money, but yeah, that's cool, man. That's a great story.
Thank you.
Um, so as we kind of wrap it up here, what would you say to anybody that is thinking about getting in the business?
It's never too late. It is. Um, Wrestling business. It is really competitive in a way because as a wrestler, you're representing your brand, right? You're like everybody. Like you can be guest, I can be Nike, another wrestler can be Adidas, like we're
Mhm.
all representing our brand. It's competitive, but the love of the sport is it makes this so much better. I If you're into wrestling, and if you want to be a professional wrestler, go for it. Look to your local wrestling school. Now that there's social media, there's gonna be like a lot of schools popping up in your area. Go for it. It is pricey. I'm not gonna lie to you. Being a professional wrestler is pricey.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot, there's sometimes, you gotta pay like $200 per month or whatever. But invest in yourself. Invest in
Mm-hmm.
yourself because you might never know how you're gonna do unless you do it. You know?
For sure.
So go for it. It takes a lot of discipline, it takes a lot of courage, it takes a lot of enduring the pain of the ring, physical and mental pain, because you're like,
Mm-hmm.
there's times you're gonna be doubting yourself, but there's times where you're gonna be like, yeah, this is a lot easier than I thought. Like,
Yeah.
go for it, invest yourself, do it,
Mm-hmm.
carry it. Doesn't matter the age where you're at, because you can be 60 years old and you can be like, I was meant to be a professional wrestler. There's a difference between wanting and doing it. So
Right.
go
For
for it.
sure. For sure. Yeah. Your dreams are not going to meet you there. You got to go
Yeah,
over there and
no.
get them. All right. So we'll wrap this up. Where do people find you on Instagram, on Facebook, and we'll put the links in the description too. Um,
Social media wise, Instagram, I'm under Celestial Luchador Oficial. Facebook, I have my Celestial page, so Celestial, and then my Facebook, the one that I use as well, it is Viento Gonzalez. Facebook doesn't let me really allow to change my name anymore.
right.
I kept out. So
Yeah.
Viento Gonzalez on Facebook, Celestial on Facebook, and Celestial Luchador Oficial on Facebook.
Okay. And the last thing I want to touch on, because I almost forgot, you have a cooking show, and it's called Cooking with Celestial. And I watched the one. I think you were doing spring rolls, like shrimp spring rolls. I think they
Uh-huh.
were. Yeah.
Yes.
So real quick, tell me how that all came about, and where would you like to see that go, and where does cooking rank with wrestling for you?
So that came about with we have I was having conversation with Vols, right? And he was like, because he knows I work in the kitchen and I'm a supervisor slash sous chef. Um, so he was like, like do something with your skill. He's like, do something with your skill. And
Mm-hmm.
he was like really pushing me towards it, like he was like, do a cooking show. Do a cooking show. And I was like, okay, at first I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. And
Yeah.
then 2 months ago, I messaged him like, hey, because I was talking to my mom, and I was like, if I do the cooking show, like if I do it and I just make my own menu and or cook what I know what to make, and she was like, go for it. So I messaged False, and I was like, hey, I'm gonna do the cooking show. I messaged him on a Friday. I went to go buy the product on Saturday, and I made the cooking show on Sunday. But he
Mm-hmm.
messaged me. He's like, "Thank God for listening to me."
Yeah.
So that came about with like it was more like a group effort. Uh, so I record. I do all the. It's a big group effort because I'm the one cooking, right? My mom
Mm-hmm.
she's recording, and then I upload it to the Google Drive. I send it to Vols. Vols will send it to his production team that he has.
Mm-hmm.
So they're both working in Mexico, and one of them will edit it for me because one of them does the editing, and the other one she takes care of all my bookings.
Yeah.
So, um, so like I said, it's a big
Yeah.
production like behind closed doors. So he takes care of all the editing, and he does everything. So he's the one who asked me like questions like, hey, so your friends, blah blah blah, and like, what do you like to do? Like, send me pictures, this and that. So I sent him all the pictures, and then he sends it back to me. We watch it, and if I like it, he'll upload it to their Lucha uh, YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's my that's how we do that cooking show.
Yeah, that's I need a boss in my corner coming up with all these cool ideas and backing me up.
Dude,
Like he seems like
yeah.
such a big supporter of yours, and I think that's really rad that he's your
He
guy.
is. He is. Like, one time he told me, he's like, your mom and I, we are your biggest supporters.
Mm-hmm.
And he always tells me, like, he's like, you're my investment. I'm investing in you.
Right.
So I'm like, yes, sir.
I'm pretty sure it was your mom that sold me the T-shirt because I think I went to the merch table and I was just like looking around and I was like, man, isn't there any larges? And she's like, I got a large right here. And I was like, oh, right on, I'll take it. And I bought it, and I don't even know if you had wrestled yet, but I was like, yeah, shit, yeah, I did because I just wanted to support an indie wrestler. I was just trying to help out, but yeah, I and then I don't remember if this is her or not, but my friend Benito, who was with me, I think it maybe it was her, I don't know, but she started speaking to me in Spanish, and I was like,
That is
I
her.
and I was like, I don't, and she kind of, and I get this a lot because I do look Hispanic, but I'm
Yeah.
native, but and she's like, you don't speak Spanish? And I'm like waiting for Benito to bail me out, and Benito's like, oh no 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 no, nativo, Indio, and she goes, oh, you mean like, woo, 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 woo. And I was like, if that helps, yeah. And she's like, oh, okay. And then but it was just funny, man. I always remember that. Like, I was like, Benito, say something, dude. Like, I don't know what to say, but yeah, that was funny. That
That
was
is
a,
her.
yeah. Well, right on, dude. This was so cool. I'm so glad you agreed to come on. And
No, thank you for inviting me.
yeah, man. And good luck at your match on Saturday. And that
Thank
event
you.
sounds really cool. And next time you're in town, we might have to do it in person, run it back in
Yes.
person, because
Big time.
I got a little setup here, and I think I think we'll even do even better in person. But yeah,
And I got
man,
more stories.
of course, dude. I appreciate your time, dude, and hope to get over that cold
Thank you.
in time for the match, dude. You don't want to go in there half-assed.
Nope.
All right, man. It's good to talk to you. Thank you, everybody, for
Definitely.
watching, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you, everybody.